Welcome again to the second part of the OMEGAMON for Db2 Performance Expert specific training for situation management with Take Actions. In the first part of the video, we discussed basic principles and the differences between situations with the option of Take Action automatically, running in the background, and the exceptions primarily used for highlighting within OMEGAMON for Db2. We also discussed how to create basically situations within Enhanced 3270 UI and the TiVal Enterprise portal. In this video, I will now concentrate on the Take Actions and its use cases. Some of those use cases are based on questions and discussions with customers who asked how to manage best certain situations. Here I will repeat the first one, issue a console message, which we have shortly discussed in the first video session. But now we will show this in a live demo, as we will do this for most of the other use cases. We also already have seen this slide in the first session. A customer asked, how can we inform other colleagues about any non-critical situations? Just the fact that a specific batch program or connection is running for a longer time, for example 1 hour. The message should include the plan name, the user ID and the subsystem ID. We start the live demo at the overview, the event console panel, from where you could invoke the various OMEGAMON family products. We will now open the situation editor via the menu Edit and Situation or with the shortcut E.S. We can now see all OMEGAMON components and will expand the MVS Db2 one with a click on the plus sign in front of MVS Db2. We have already created the situation demo-xxxx and open them with an E for edit. Let's review what is already defined. Severity is harmless. Sampling and checking interval of 1 minute. And run at start up is defined. We will now check the formula and enter an S in front of the formula. We have the user ID and the plan name qualified. Be aware that you may have to enter it in correct mixed case definition. And finally, the elapsed time. We will close this view with a click on Accept. Next, let's check the distribution tab. Only subsystem Db1 was selected. That's okay. Let's now switch to the Action tab. There's no action command defined so far. We have to enter an S in front of the command and then select 1 for enter a MVS system command. Let's now enter the log MVS system command with free text, any current attribute values merged into the text. Having an eye catcher like here demo1234 will help to identify later the source of the message. For selecting any current attribute values, click on the attribute substitution and select the table and column. The value is concatenated with text without a space. Therefore, you may have to insert a space manually after the attribute was added. Trying to insert a space if the attribute continues in the next row does not work, no rollover. Therefore, I recommend to insert a character, for example a dash, which can then be removed after the attribute was added. Continue then with the rest of the free text and the additional attributes. By the way, the log text may not exceed 121 characters, for it is an MVS limitation. At the end, close the text with a final quote. Finally, confirm the entry with click on Accept. And go to the Formula tab and click on OK. If the situation triggers, you will see on your system console the following message. Okay, so let's now look at a situation for which you want to automatically issue a Db2 command as a take action. For example, a cancel thread command. Assuming you want to automatically cancel a specific distributed thread of a specific user or a batch program running for a long time, consuming some CPU time but without having anything committed so far. We are starting again within the situation editor, going down to the MVS Db2 plus sign and open the list of situations. There already exists a situation named demo purge thread. We will open the situation with an edit. It will check every 30 seconds, run at startup is set to no. With S in front of the formula we can check the conditions. Here we can see the formula definition with an OR condition. First row condition is a distributed thread running 1 hour with CPU times but no commit. And the second row, the OR condition, is a specific batch program, here with a short elapsed time for demo purposes. We accept and return to the previous screen, where we now check the distribution tab, the advice tab without any text, and finally the action tab. There's currently no action defined. Enter an S to open, press enter to confirm first system command. This opens the command entry field. For this situation we do not enter any free-formatted text, but going directly to the attribute substitution to pick up the cancel thread command attribute. This attribute has already all information what's needed to cancel a specific thread, which is token, and the Db2 subsystem on which it is running. Click on accept, go to the formula tab and click OK. Because the run at startup is set to no, we want now to start the situation. Enter / to open the possible next steps. Enter R to start and confirm with enter. The list of situations shows now the status started. Run at startup is still not set, and the take action shows a yes. I am now switching to my TSO session to submit a batch program with plan name Dinsel P1, which I have defined in the second row condition of the situation. After a short time jump, not waiting for the lapse time, I will receive the append message because of cancel thread. I am now switching to my system console log to check for the cancel thread command execution. With this next situation take action demo, I will show how to manage the change of any Db2 subsystem settings. For example, you want to change within your Db2 CPARM specific settings depending on your daily workload. For example, workload running in your prime shift during the day and others running in the night, the non-prime shift. This approach could also be used, for example, to change buffer pool settings with its sizes and thresholds depending on different buffer pool usage. Assuming we want to change the CPARMs at 8 o'clock in the morning and at 6 o'clock for the night shift. For this I have two different Db2 CPARM load modules with different settings, which I will switch with the set sysparm load command. The attributes which I need to define in the formula are the hour of the day attribute and the Db2 subsystem ID attribute. I will have to pick those from different tables. Therefore, I want to show also here how to pick attributes from different tables and use it in an AND condition of my formula. Here the formula of this new situation is empty. Therefore, I have to enter an A in the first row and column. Then select the table and the attribute. To find the right table, I have to page down either with the arrow or the PF8 function key. Select the attribute and click Accept. To enter the other attribute from a different table, enter A again. Select the other table and the attribute and click Accept. We will see now the two attributes in the same row, means those are combined in an AND condition. Let's edit and define the values. For the Db2 subsystem ID and the hour of the day when the prime shift should start. Click Accept. And finally accept the formula. Go now to the Action tab. Enter an S to open the command entry field. Here we enter now the set_sysparm load command starting with the dash and the Db2 subsystem attribute picked from the attribute substitution. Followed by the entry of the set command with the cparm module for the prime shift. Next we are going to the Until tab to define when this event will be closed temporarily, which means it will be turned in false with condition hour greater equal 8 o'clock for the rest of the day. This event in false will open again and execute take action next day if the condition greater equal 8 o'clock goes back to true. To become closer to the top of the hour for execution of the set_sysparm load command, I will change the 15-minute sampling interval to 5 minutes. Now we will double check the take action for the non-prime shift setting. As you can see, I have a different cparm module name db1 parm x to be loaded for the night shift. Because we don't wait in this demo for the next shift change, I've pasted the syslog with the set_sysparm load command execution into this slide. As you can see, at 6 o'clock, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and again at 6 o'clock in the evening. As I mentioned, instead of running set_sysparm load, you can also define any Db2 command like alter buffer pool, or you use any metric like buffer pool heat ratio in your formula condition to initiate the alter buffer pool command. My next scenario is not using a single Db2 command execution, but instead the starter job, means a predefined process with potential several processing steps. Assuming you want to collect additional specific Db2 performance trace data automatically and unattended for a short time and only for a specific detected critical situation in your environment. Let's assume there happens a lot of timeout and or deadlocks within a very short time frame, and you can assume that there are potentially more coming. You want to know what's going on, means analyzing the surrounding workload. We already have created and opened a new situation with an interval of 30 seconds, but there is no formula defined yet. We will now select the deadlock attribute from the Db2 system states table. Instead of using page down several times, I'm switching to the expanded subpanel display by clicking on the upper right icon on the table view. After I have selected the attribute and I have seen yes in the columns selected, I have to go back to redo the expanded view in order to allow click on accept on the top. Next, I will define the value with edit. And here I'm using now the function 7, means it will return the delta value. It is called change in value between two sampling timestamps. Define the distribution. Here I'm selecting MVS Db2, means it should become valid and used in all subsystems of my environment. and go to the Action tab to define the start command for the started job STCRD. We are setting Run at Startup from the default Yes now to No. Now let's create a second situation for the timeout counter. Instead of starting with a new situation from scratch, I will copy and create this new situation from the deadlock one. Enter C for create copy. In the formula, I have to exchange, cut/delete, the deadlock attribute and add instead the timeout attribute. You may ask why I'm not adding the timeout simply to the deadlock formula. It is because there is a limitation that only one attribute within the same formula can be defined with change in value. On the other side, with two different situations, I don't really want to collect the same Db2 logging data twice with two situation take actions from both the deadlock and the timeout situation. There's a way to combine both into one so-called correlated situation, where you can combine several situations in an or and condition. So let's do this. First, I'm removing the start job command from both take actions from deadlock and timeout. As you might remember, if we create new situations, we were asked for one standard situation or two correlated situation. We decide now to take here the two correlated situation and enter the name of this new correlated situation. We can now select from the correlated situation selection panel the deadlock and the timeout situation. Depending in which row I'm enter the E command for the value, it will change them to true, and with this it is used in an AND or in an OR condition. Finally, I'm changing the interval to 30 seconds, the minimum interval. And defines the start job command in the Action tab. Going back to the list of situations under MVS Db2, you may wonder why this new correlated situation is not shown. Because you can also correlate situations, for example, from CICS and Db2, it will be shown under the Tivoli Enterprise Monitoring Service umbrella. Finally, I will show as an example the OMEGAMON Db2 trace collection program FPE-CCRD used in the started job, whereas the related GCL has to reside in your proclib or associated GCLib. This started job is running for a user-defined elapsed time with the user-defined start trace commands. I have also added the OMEGAMON DB logging suspension trace report, which may run as a second job step or you run later as a separate job. We are now at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and feel free to contact any of us if you have additional questions or if you want to hear more.